this feeling, baby, we're invincible.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Notts County. As always, if you're enjoying the save, drop a like, that would be tremendous. It's the 8th season in the save. It's our 3rd in the Premier League. The slow build is very much on. We sort of shot up and then struggled like crazy to stay in it. Last season was for the most part fairly comfortable. Few frustrating results, but I feel there was a lot of good signs there. I felt like if we could just start getting improvement in the players, I think a lot of our tactical ideas are pretty sound. And those of you that were watching the analysis video have seen me talk about how I've removed Get Stuck In, because I feel like if we can improve our calibre of players slightly, which is what we seem to have done over the last year, we can be a little bit less aggressive in the tackle, therefore commit less fouls, therefore commit less penalties, less yellow cards, less suspensions, all of that sort of jazz, and we've got the quality to stay in the league and start to build our squad a little bit more, being a bit less pugilistic, since we got nearly 100 yellow cards last season. I don't really want to repeat that this year. I want to get that right down and be a bit more sensible with the play. And as, of course, you guys would have seen me do the analysis video, we had some interesting players that we found, and we've gone after some. We've spent a lot of money this summer, more than, I mean, you've probably seen from the title, a lot of money. Obviously, I offset a lot of that into future years, but still, a lot of money has been spent. I've tried to kind of be laser focused on signings this summer, rather than mass signing players like we've done a few summers to build the squad. I've tried to really laser focus in a few important positions to strengthen, like genuine first team strengthening. And I don't think I'm going to do this much longer because it costs so much money, man. So firstly, we got 84 million in transfer budget in the end, although I actually had to put that down to give us some more wage room because they didn't really give us much on the wage side of things. So we still had a lot to spend, and I've kind of had to in places, like we really have struggled. New contract for Alandrina, I said I'd give him one. New contract as well for Thomas Stepanek. It's still got a release clause. I find that agents are really stingy about release clauses this year on FM. New deal for Costel Troffin as well, which is very, very nice. I did want to keep him at the club. I did try to offer Regan Booty a new contract. We've yet to negotiate a contract with him at the moment because I thought, well, he's on £9,000 a week. How much could he possibly want if I try to bring his squad status down too from what's it, regular starter? The one below important player. Well, I'll tell you what, his agent wanted £80,000 a week with international clauses rising to £100,000 a week. The board are also upgrading our youth and training facilities again. They did this autonomously this time, which was nice. We're now a Category 3 youth level, which I guess is good. And we now have planning permission for a stadium which will have 25,625 seats. No more details on it just yet. Point is, the stadium is going ahead. So, let's get into transfers. First, we're going to do outs, because there's been a decent number of them, mostly loans, but a few permanent signings, some of which will be long-time players too. You obviously know that Eyal Hermansson has joined New York Red Bull. We already knew about that, though. Pavlovic has gone back out on loan to Novi Sad over in Serbia again. Stephen Walker has left to go to Rangers. 875 grand. Bolton did actually bid 1.5 million. And I got greedy and tried to bid them up to 2, and they were like, nah, mate. Ron Coates has also left after 121 appearances, almost said years, at the club and 17 goals. He's left permanently to move to Chesterfield for £750,000. I'm not sure what league Chesterfield are in, but they've definitely been on the up in recent years. So that's pleasing. Sam Hughes has also left to go to Barnsley for the season. I was talking about how we wanted to try and get him off the wage bill for the summer. It wasn't quite available. I don't think they're paying all of it. I think they're paying like half of his wages plus £20,000 a month. So it sort of works out to more like 3/4 of his wages, which is reasonable. So it just gets a decent amount of money off the books for us, which is fine by me. And lastly, Tunji Akinola has also left on loan for a season to go to Cardiff. This was a godsend. I wanted to get him out permanently, but no clubs were willing to pay his wages. But then, swooping in on the final day of the season, or the final day of the transfer window, there was Cardiff City, prepared to pay his entire £33,500 a week. Sorry, yeah, £33,000 a week for him to come and play for him in the Championship. I think it's in the Championship. So that's very, very pleasing that they were willing to shell that amount of money out. And that offset a lot of wages that I could pump into someone else's deal. And boy, did I. First up, Nikolai Schau. We signed him a couple of seasons ago. Left-sided winger, coming in from Denmark, from FC Copenhagen. I think it was £1.1 million. My scouts made some really bad decisions about the potential of certain players. When we were looking at them before, now again, it could be because we signed them 2 years ago, and since then we've grown so much that they're no longer considered 5-star players. That could be a factor. Next up is Jalel Dorbali, a Tunisian centre-back who's come in from ES Tunis, as they always do, for £450,000. He's another one that we signed a couple of years ago, but he does still appear to have that 5-star potential. Next up is Julian Burgess, a 20-year-old Englishman who we signed from Fulham for £50,000. mainly because the option came up for me to sign a guy for £50,000, and I felt like there was a bit more than a £50,000 player here. So we were able to bring him on a relatively cheap deal, loan him straight out to Chester for a year. He's got great finishing. Then we have another of the players I signed a few years ago. This is Jeppe Have. I think I briefly mentioned that I'd picked up a Danish striker a few years ago, and once again, it's a case of my scouts massively overrepresenting his potential. Now onto the signings that I'm actually genuinely pleased with. The first of which is another Tunisian. It's Lamjed Chiti. I'm going to need some help on the pronunciation of this guy. So, remember I was saying I wanted a right back and a left back. That was our biggest plan for the summer. I wanted them to be tall and have reasonable physical attributes. Now, this guy steers way more into the tall side of things, and unfortunately he's had an injury for a lot of pre-season, which is frustrating, which has unfortunately seen him not play a great deal. He'll be back not for today's game, but for the next one. He's 6'5". His acceleration is only 12. He's got great jumping reach. Not bad pace. 13's not the worst. It's not great, though. Only 9 crossing and 8 dribbling, though. Marking of 13, tackling of 13. He's a solid defender. And once again, 850 grand he cost us. 11.5 million is now his value. But the other 3 signings are the signings that I'm really, really pleased with. And here is the first of them. It's Marvin Suarez. We have a new goalkeeper. This one I am so pleased with. Because I was talking about how I wanted to get a better goalkeeper potentially because of Paul, but then they also keep valuing Paul's potential quite high sometimes. So I was like, well, do we really want to remove that option for us? And then through my scout report came the fact that Marvin Suarez had handed in a transfer request and had been transfer listed by Sheffield United for £8 million. We signed this guy for 8 million quid. He's a Colombian. Is he Colombian? I think he's a Colombian. International at 23. 35 caps for Colombia already. Played at the World Cup for them. Can't really go wrong with that. He's played in qualification for them as well. He played for Sheffield United for a long time. 190 games for Sheffield United. And honestly, not that much over a goal a game playing for Sheffield United, including a spell in the Premier League with them. It's Alberto. We signed Alberto from Bournemouth. I did what I did last year with Gael Perrier. We discovered this guy when we were doing the analysis episode, and he kind of ticked all the boxes that I was looking for. I also got some analyst reports on him to see where else he was ranking well. And he just did a lot of things that I really, really liked. And he was up there, despite Bournemouth being a really poor side last year and coming bottom. 6'1", so he's got decent height. He's got great acceleration, decent pace, his natural fitness is high, he's very agile for a tall lad. Jumping reach of 15. Heading isn't great, but he's tall enough. Crossing of 12, dribbling of 12. Great first touch as well. But also, passing of 12, tackling of 12. Not too bad. Great work rate, great teamwork. A lot of the factors that I really, really like about him. He's good on aggression, he's brave. I think he is not the complete package, but really, really pleased with that. And I know it says this here, but I'm going purely on his attributes right now. In total, the deal is 54 million. It's 20 up front, again, like with Gael Perrier, and then a further 32 over the next few years. So it's a comfortable record transfer. But I felt like for a 22-year-old Brazilian of this kind of quality, I had to kind of push the boat out because there's very few things on him that are negatives. Peripheral figure, we can hopefully get that, and he's not the best in his heading overall, but I still think he'll do a decent job there just based on his pure height. But we did have another transfer saga, and this is he. This is another player from Bournemouth. This is Celso, a 23-year-old Brazilian centre-back. Now, once again, we spotted him in the analysis video based on his just sheer towering nature. He's not crazy slow either, but he does a 15 jumping reach, 18 heading, and is 6'5". Great, decent enough marking and tackling as well. He's solid across the board. Very brave, great decision making, which is excellent. His vision is solid as well. Passing isn't great, but it doesn't matter. I love him. He just ticks all the boxes. As you can see, £105,000 a week. Comfortably our highest paid player ever. This was a signing I made on the final day, basically. I think it was not long before that, because we were really trying to... When I first put a bid in, they wanted £130 million for this guy. As a relegated club, they were prepared to put that bid in and say, we want 130 million for our player. And I was like, no. So we just kept bidding and bidding and bidding, talking in the press. I sent my scouts to watch him. And I then went and watched some of the Bournemouth matches too to try and unsettle him. Eventually, it did actually work. And he handed in a transfer request, to which Bournemouth then come and said, okay, 64 million, which is still a lot of money, but it's less than half of what they were asking for before. But then I tried to negotiate with them. No matter how I tried to structure the deal, it always just reset to 64 million. You'd feel like if he's handed in a transfer request, they'd probably be a bit more willing to negotiate. But as it was, I was kind of tempted to just do it in the end. So in the end, the deal is 32 up front, 32 over the next 3 years. There's a couple of other clauses in there too. Oh, no, there isn't actually. Sorry, they wanted a 20%. I was like, nah, not happening. So yeah, 64 million in total. And I think this is probably going to be the most I'll ever spend on a player in this save, in all honesty. Because I don't like doing this too often, because I feel like it's a waste of money. I feel like you're never going to get back what you spend on a lot of these kind of players. But I felt like we really just needed to laser target some defensive upgrades this season. And I think these two, particularly Alberto and Celso, are those two guys that can do that for us. But I think next year we're really going to focus on trying to find more like 16, 17-year-old players to bring through. I want to find some more Thomas Stepaneks that we can sign for 10 million with 80 million sale value, rather than bringing in players that are nearly the finished product. And that's that Remy Dubois has got damaged cruciate ligaments. He damaged them in a friendly. I think it was actually the last friendly before the end of pre-season, which meant I had no time to go out and actually scout a good quality replacement for him. So Regan Booty is going to be playing a lot more football this year than you might have imagined. But given what we saw in the analysis video, he's still got it. But there's really not a lot we can do about it, and I hope that doesn't affect our season too much. Such a crippling injury. The player that inflicted injury was sent off in the friendly, but just what a gutless prick to damage cruciate ligaments on a guy in a pre-season friendly. But that's life. We must move on. Today's game is against Norwich, away from home. Not an easy game, it would be fair to say. So, unfortunately, Tiu is still out, which is annoying, but what can you do? Oh, you'll notice that Brentford also came up through the playoffs, so pretty cool to see them in the Premier League. Even as a Fulham fan, I got to appreciate that. So, Norwich away. Obviously, this is not going to be the lineup we're going to play today. I'm going to adjust it on the fly. So, Mpepo, you might notice some of the star ratings have changed a little bit. That is mainly due to the fact that Celso and Alberto and Marvin Suarez have come in, so it's pushed a lot of other people down slightly. So they've not got worse, it's just that other players have got better and come in and done amazing things. But I feel like I'd probably rather play my man Lamjed here over Kim, but we'll see. Ferguson will definitely occupy that midfield role. I did have a look for another Metsala, but nobody really stood out to me. So Dubois injured, Ferguson could play there, but I really do think that there's something about Regan Booty, and I want to give him a chance to play in the role. I'm going to go for it. No, actually, there's a link between Mpepo and... No, screw it. We're going to take the risk and start Costel Troffin on the first day of the season. And Mpepo will be on the bench, but he's going to have to fight to keep his place, old Truffles. We can't afford to have a striker that's not performing, and there's going to be a real battle between those two for the striker spot this year, and we're going to be comparing them consistently to try and see what's going on with that. Let's go and have a crack at Norwich, shall we? For some reason, we only have an analyst report. Is this... Oh, I think someone's left and I've not noticed it now. Bloody hell. I'll just kind of use a default template. I don't always go after wingers on that sort of style, but we've really got no choice here. I'm honestly still not sure what to expect from today's game. Obviously, they'll have strengthened too, I would have thought. Interestingly, no... Oh, there he is. He is still there. I'd probably take a draw against a mid-table Norwich. This year, my plan is, once again, stay up, obviously. That's always going to be the plan. And try to push for a top half finish this season. And see if we can start to find some little ways that we can improve tweak by tweak, you know? Well won by Soncha Hansen. That's a bit more like it. He's got to find Guajardo. He does. Guajardo's got a free route to the goal here. One more touch. Finish. Nope, but another good chance for us in the early stages. We've definitely been the better side so far. And see if we can come up with a more efficient strategy again. Barco. Win it. There we go, Kim. How was he not... Great tackle from Perrier there, but how on earth did he not win the ball there? That apparently was a clear-cut chance for Norwich, despite them not having a shot. Ferguson heads it away. Good block. Ball across... Oh, God. Look at the space for Ben Godfrey. Oh. Second phase of corners is just, I don't know. That is where we concede so many goals, but I don't really know what to do about it. Players just don't really seem to ever get back into a decent shape after a corner. Like, someone does come out to press it, whips it across, and it's an easy header for their winger. It's too easy for the goalkeeper often. Hansen, back for Guajardo. Can he find one with his left foot perhaps? And Troffin gets a header on target again. So it's his chance to shine. He's going to get a run of games in the team, and I want to see what he's capable of. Booty drops it back for Celso. Finds Guajardo. Decent first touch. Can he find someone with the ball? It's going to go through himself, isn't he? Yep, and another good stop by the Norwich goalkeeper. I mean, I'm actually quite pleased with a lot of our play. 9 shots, all of which have been on target in the first half. Yeah, I mean, we're doing okay on that one, but it's just not to be so far. We're really missing Remy Dubois' ability to launch a cross-field pass. He's got that PPM and it makes a huge difference at times. Hansen's all the way through, and another relatively tame shot, but once again on target. In phase of a corner. Let's see if we can concede another one from this spot. Godfrey, oh my lord. Sutton, go on, win it. Good block. Here we go. Stepanek can have a little run finally. Hasn't really seen much of that from him tonight, but he's into the box nearly. And he's all the way through! And he's scored. Thomas Stepanek, by himself, basically, equalises for Notts County. And I'd say that we've deserved that equaliser based on our performance so far. This is insane. He's literally run from almost the edge of his own penalty area. Norwich just cannot stop him. For once, we actually managed to get past their defender while he's doing nothing. Takes an extra touch and just dinks it past the goalkeeper. What a bloody goal. I don't think that's going to be enough for us. Like, I want him to be switching the play, but instead he's running with it for no reason. Stepanek drops it down for Ferguson. Can he get inside? Stepanek again! And it's wide of the post. Still getting there, though. I'd very much take a draw in this match so far. Oh, come on. I thought we were going to concede another one. Stepanek now. This is where he's absolutely godlike, though. When he has a chance to run. Goes past another guy. He's into the box. He'll find a shot from a tight angle. Easy save for the goalkeeper, but another good opportunity for us there. I'm going to turn off get stuck in because I don't really think it's made that much difference on the possession side of things, and I'm worried that it might give us, more issues than it's worth. Darren, so close. Alberto does nicely there. Celso. I'd take a 1-1 draw in all honesty, although we've shown a lot tonight that makes me think we're capable of more. And that's a good sign out. Oh, here we go. Stepanek through again. One touch to set himself. And another poor attempt at goal. I've seen a lot out of us today that I really, really like. Like, 14 shots on target in a match away from home is very, very new for us, basically. I'm a huge fan of that. Silla's all the way through for Alberto! Oh my goodness. Alberto, on his debut, scores. El Hadji still, and you have to say that based on the balance of play, we deserve that. We've created a much better quality of chance. This is really nice work on the edge of the box. Lovely ball through from Silla, though. First time, Alberto in there. Composure galore. Oh my god. He does that little thing that they do before they put a cross in. Alberto may have just scored the winner. Bloody hell. Going to take the advice I'm always given, put it on very defensive and time wasting. Let's see if it actually works. Fabio Vieira's ball in. Oh, all the way through for Godfrey. Go on, put your tackle. No! Oh, I'm sick of it. I'm so bored of conceding goals from these second phases of set pieces. It is... You can't defend it because... you can only set people up for the first phase. And that's 2 goals today that have come from the second phases of set pieces. I can't believe it. Christ on a... We've played so well today. It's not like we've not created anything. Stepanek's just going to shoot, isn't he? And Leiva! What a bloody save. Kim. So, that's the final whistle. We know we got a corner there. Frustrating as all hell. Norwich 2, Notts County 2. Like, a lot of positive signs there. Really, really good performance for the most part from almost everybody on the pitch there. Except for the fact that, once again, it's just... because it feels like you're helpless to do anything about it. That's what makes it frustrating, actually. Like, conceding goals is conceding goals. But it's when they come from a situation that you know that there's no tactical change you can make that will stop it from happening. You can set players up all you like, but that only applies to the first phase of the corner. They then immediately try to push out, and then stuff like that happens. There's so many positives there. From an attacking standpoint, we were absolutely excellent. We really did create a lot of opportunities in the game. Not using set pieces or from open play, all that kind of good stuff. Scored 2 of them with Stepanek and Alberto. The passing play was excellent. And then we just get screwed, or screw ourselves, by conceding 2 goals from those exact same situations. I'm going to keep a tally on how many of our goals conceded this year come from those exact situations, because it's starting to piss me off. But whatever, we must move on. Hopefully, we can be a little bit better defensively for the rest of the season. I think it's only fair that we do a double live com as the next episode. We'll do Brentford at home and Brighton away. I'm still trying to concentrate on the lower teams, just because they're more... I'm going to concentrate on some more mid-table fixtures this year, depending on where our positions lie. But at the end of the day, games against like Chelsea and Liverpool, we're just not going to do that well in, I wouldn't have thought. So, next up we've got Chelsea, but then we have Leicester. We've actually got a pretty tough start to the season, in all honesty. That's why that win against Norwich was a very important one to try and get. But then we do have a really nice little run of games after that to hopefully pull ourselves away. Brentford at home, going to be very important. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, and I really hope you have, in spite of that result, and you're looking forward to the new season, drop a like, that'd be glorious. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and as always, hold your gun, capybara. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.